where I go to, is the Christian understanding that, you know, there's a lot of good out there, but there's still some evil out there. And I think that one of the devil's great tricks is to convince people we never existed.
These are the deepest secrets that governments have allegedly killed people to protect.
Didn't we tell this 3 years ago that we kill people for this? Is she not listening?
So today, we'll be uncovering the murders and disappearances tied to UFOs and aliens all around the world, revealing once and for all the dark, hidden truths from space that the government is trying to bury.
What do you think is happening here? And do you think that this is connected or totally random?
Well, I hope it's random, but we're going to know in the next week and a half.
Get to that money, I wanna be ballin'. If you wanna break your back, don't worry, you can call Morgan and Morgan. If you've had serious damage to your body or internal organs, and you know it wasn't your fault, then you might have a case or you might wanna call them. If you're hurt by someone else's negligence, you deserve to be paid 35 years of results, so you can trust them with your case. America's largest injury law firm, but not all law firms are built the same. Don't pick wrong, it's a big mistake. Get the wrong law firm and you're out the game. They got more than 1,000 lawyers, so you know that they're ready for battle. With 100 offices nationwide, so take them a case to tackle. They recovered over $30 billion for all their clients, and the fee is free unless you win, so you might want to try them. I want to get to them racks, get to that money, I want to be ballin'. If you want to break your back, don't worry, you can call Morgan and Morgan. If you've had serious damage to your body or internal organs, and you know it wasn't your fault, then you might have a case or you might want to call them. But you can start your claim now with Morgan and Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/traplawross. Link in description, or you can scan the QR code on screen using your phone camera. Thanks, Morgan and Morgan. Back to the video.
Content warning. This video is about a sensitive topic involving loss of life. We've removed any graphic content to comply with YouTube's guidelines. We aim to provide informative, factual journalism on a tragic event in the public interest that does not dismiss its seriousness. All clips are used under the doctrine of fair use for news reporting and analysis. Some points made in this video are opinions and theories. I am not responsible for third-party information. If you want to watch my videos uncut and extended, go to patreon.com/traplawross, where you can get those for just $2. Also, you can now watch my new drops on Spotify, so go search me there. Here's the video. In June 2022, 34-year-old scientist Dr. Amy Catherine Eskridge reportedly life in Huntsville, Alabama. This is a city known as the Rocket City for its major role in sending the first man to the moon. However, nearly 4 years after her death, Amy's business partner Samuel Reed would post a message that reframed everything. He wrote, "I refrained from posting this for 4 years since my co-founder Amy Eskridge was killed." And he closed with saying, "I no longer fear their death threats. God bless you, Amy." And to support his claim, Reed shared screenshots of Amy's messages from the weeks before her death, where she detailed receiving daily threats and explained that it all started after a voice recording she made on her own phone about a major breakthrough in space technology. She would add that she felt she had crossed an invisible line and was now under surveillance after her discovery, going on to confess the terrifying belief that her name had now been placed on a kill list. Perhaps most disturbingly, Amy insisted that if she died, it would not have been by no matter what anyone else would claim. And while reports suggested that she did die from a gunshot wound, she had explicitly told Reed that she would never use her own gun for that use. But Sam Reed was not the only one questioning Amy's death, because before she disappeared, she had shared photos of mysterious burns and scars with colleagues, including former UK intelligence officer Frank Milburn. Moreover, in 2025, journalist Ross Coulthard alleged that Amy was murdered after being targeted with direct energy weapons.
I actually spoke to Amy Eskridge. I don't think she killed. I do think there's a very high likelihood she was murdered. She genuinely feared that somebody was trying to hurt her or kill her. And I've got photographs, harrowing photographs of burns that she allegedly suffered from some kind of directed energy weapon that she believes was directed at her.
And according to him, she'd been studying the same UFO technology that the US government had safeguarded since the 1970s.
It's quite obvious that the United States has been working on anti-gravity right through the 50s, the 60s, and then it all went dark. And the reason it went dark, I think, is because they had a breakthrough, and it was all buried.
And a giant cover-up that a 2022 congressional hearing would reveal had actually indeed included
What up,
murders.
chat?
Do you have any personal knowledge of people who have been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up or conceal the extraterrestrial technology?
What's up,
Yes.
chat?
Anyone been murdered? that you would think, that you know of?
I directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities.
Growing up in Huntsville, Amy understood that city's strategic significance, and she considered it one of the most important cities in the United States.
I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. I know I've said that several times. We're the Rocket City. We're the biggest deal you've never heard of. Von Braun was here and we won the space race.
As well as one of the first places that enemies would target in a war with America.
Huntsville is like the hub. Like, we are number 3 on the first strike launch list. If first strike happens, 3 targets, Huntsville will be one of them. Alabama, this is the Alabama dude in the deep south. Like, Huntsville is the hub of, if a nuclear weapon is coming to the US from Russia, how are we gonna see it? Most importantly, how are we going to shoot it down?
After double majoring in chemistry and biology, she earned master's degrees in electrical engineering, physics, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology. And together with her father, a retired NASA specialist, she entered the secretive world of gravity technology, intentionally conducting her work publicly so her disappearance would be noticed.
I started it as a public-facing persona to disclose anti-gravity technology through, because I told Mark this. If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off. If you stick your neck out in private view, they will bury you. They will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news.
As well as believing that the government would let her continue her research.
He was like, if you haven't had a US government agent come to you and say, stop, shut the up, stop, shut the up. If that hasn't happened, they're gonna let you do it. They're gonna let you do it this time. He said it's been suppressed every other time. This time, they're waiting for someone to publish.
Yet the dangers of this research soon become apparent. During a 2018 presentation, a crowd member would reference the disappearance of another Rocket City scientist, Dr. Ning Lee, in what seemed like something of a threat.
So what about the innovator who's afraid of disappearing?
Well, that's a whole other problem.
Even if you do it in public, it still don't mean that the inventor will disappear for lots of reasons.
Like Ning Lee.
It's happening on streets all across our country. Trump's ICE agents profiling and kidnapping our neighbors. It's outrageous, it's un-American, and it's illegal. I'm Tom Steyer. If Trump's ICE agents break the law, we'll prosecute them, just like anyone else. And if their leaders direct them to break the law, we'll prosecute them too. ICE is broken, so abolish it. No masks, no secret police. I'm Tom Steyer. If you come to California when I'm governor, you follow our laws.
Fuck Tom Steyer.
How would I describe myself? Good question. Coach Pure Platinum.
See that? Sure sign of a clog. That's it. We're calling leaf filter.
One call and we'll clean.
They say higher education is outdated, irrelevant, but at Grand Canyon University,
By 2020, Amy talked about coming home to find her windows had been opened and her belongings had been searched.
Didn't we tell this 3 years ago that we kill people for this? Is she not listening? What is she doing? She's still doing it? What? We told her we were going to kill her 3 years ago. She was gone to work. I noticed the window was still open. I go to work, I leave it open. I come back like an hour later and the window is closed. I walk into our bedroom and my panty drawer has been dug through and there are pears thrown on the floor so that I will notice that my panty drawer has been dug through.
She would also detail the direct energy attacks that she alleged that she was experiencing.
I've been typing on this offline computer right here, super sensitive for the past several days, with this window right here to my right, and that window door right there to my left. And I've been, my hands have been burned to hell and back as I've been typing.
With her systems often being eased only when she blocked her windows.
I feel better immediately. Like, my hands still burn because there's damage.
Reinforcing her belief that she was indeed under surveillance and attack.
You can't hack the computer because there's no Wi-Fi card, but you can send microwaves in to get a 3D image of me typing on the keyboard, and you can reconstruct what I'm typing by microwaving me.
Moreover, fellow researcher Mark Sokol witnessed the attacks and described a bowl of popcorn in Amy's hand.
I just want to pause it. Can you guys let me know if you could hear it okay or not?
Popping right before one while mysterious vehicles had idled outside.
Yeah, so when she was here, we were sitting on the couch and we just made popcorn. We were going to watch a movie. and the popcorn in the bowl started to pop again. And she started to like scream and vomit. She's telling me they're attacking us, parked across the street in where there was a parking lot. The car was parked not in a parking spot, but like facing the door.
And from here, things only got worse. In Amy's final messages, she would reveal stalkers had been confronting her, apparently with intimate knowledge of the results of her recent MRI scans, and apparently they'd even attempted to get her dental records through an Israeli firm. From here, apparently the threats would escalate, and Amy received increasingly psychological and eerie messages, which she claimed were instructing her to end using nursery rhymes, while others tried to lure her into isolated areas late at night, which she recognized were apparent attempts to try and stage her death, repeatedly warning everyone around her that if she died, it wouldn't be a decision. In her final weeks, Amy would claim that she had recorded a breakthrough discovery on her hacked phone, which she feared put her on a kill list. And after consulting with high-level insiders, including a retired general rumored to be William McCaslin himself, she concluded that the danger came not from the government itself, but from private contractors and military companies guarding their billion-dollar profits. Tragically, by June 2022, Amy was dead just weeks after sending these warnings. And following her death, congressional testimony in 2023 alleged that a private aerospace company had indeed used energy weapons against her and killed her. By October 2025, journalists revealed that Amy had been quickly cremated without even staging an autopsy.
There's a whole lot of unexplained stuff. The difficulty is that her body was apparently cremated shortly after her death. There was no full coronial inquiry. I did make inquiries with local police about why there wasn't going to be a full coronial inquiry, and it was because of the finding.
And confidential sources claimed that the gun used to fire the fatal shot was actually in the wrong hand.
The scene where Amy was found, there were once again inconsistencies. She was right-handed. The gun was found on the left side of her body.
Finally, on April the 18th, 2026, her father would publicly dispute the claims of a murder.
Richard Eskridge, he did not want to be interviewed, but he told me on the phone, scientists die also, just like other people.
Yet many people online weren't convinced, and the suspicions only continued. But unfortunately, Amy wasn't the only anti-gravity researcher to die under mysterious circumstances in Rocket City. More than 2 decades before Amy Eskridge had entered the field, another scientist in Huntsville, Alabama, was already breaking ground. After emigrating from China, Dr. Ning Li quickly established herself as a leading researcher in the city, while throughout the 1990s, she published revolutionary papers focusing on negating gravity, with findings that proposed technologies that could make vehicles hover silently in the air and move at incredible speeds in any direction, just like the rumored UFOs. As her work progressed from theory to application, Li founded AC Gravity to build her inventions herself. However, this drew media attention from the US government, and in 2001, she received a $500,000 Pentagon grant that came with strict secrecy conditions, a strategy later cited by Amy Eskridge as typical suppression of technological breakthroughs.
Great data. You apply for more funding to test it more thoroughly, they cancel it. They cancel it. It goes to NASA divestment. It goes to the auction block. People bid on it. And literally scrap metal vendors win the bid and melt it down for scrap metal and sell it.
Consequently, Lee's research became both groundbreaking, secret, and highly monitored. By 2003, the public last saw Dr. Lee when she presented on the topic of gravity under the close supervision of a high-ranking Army official, soon after sending cryptic messages that hinted at a major breakthrough. Yet from here, she disappeared from public life, and it would take more than 20 years to find out what happened to her. Emails sent to her from journalists didn't get any responses, while colleagues insisted she remained active, working on projects that were too classified to speak on. Then, in 2004, Navy pilots off the coast of California reported sightings of wingless, tic-tac-shaped spacecrafts performing maneuvers that actually matched Lee's impossible physics.
These 3 videos released by the Department of Defense have changed the way many people see what we can't explain.
Like and sub, guys. Like and sub, please.
UFO, immediately what comes to mind are little green men, tinfoil hats. That's not at all what we're dealing with.
As soon as we look down, we see the white water. Now we see this little white tic tac. It's pointing north-south, and it's just going forward, back, left.
Like and sub, please, y'all.
F-18s began circling Fravor at 20,000 feet.
Baby.
The so-called tic tac only about 50 feet above the surface of the water.
And then it starts coming up at us. He caught a two-circle fight, but it's coming up, I'm coming down. So it literally is aware we're there, and there's no doubt, because it mirrored.
This was something that journalist Ross Coulthard later linked to Lockheed Martin, the world's largest weapons manufacturer, alleging a secret operation hidden by the government and corporate interests.
The Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin technology. Why are we being lied to?
By 2008, rumors would spread with physicists claiming that Dr. Lee had actually defected to China.
She disappeared for several years. The people at the Pentagon who were in touch with her cannot reach her anymore. She is allegedly back in China, and the Chinese, Red Chinese, are putting a lot of money into these exotic products.
So the government neither confirmed nor denied that story. By 2018, when Amy was being threatened using Dr. Lee's name, Lee was a ghost in the Rocket City scientific community. Then, after 20 years of silence in 2021, a brief obituary would reveal out of nowhere that Dr. Lee had died peacefully at age 70, astonishingly, without ever leaving Huntsville, Alabama. It took a year and the Huntsville Business Journal tracking down her son to finally uncover the full story of her disappearance. This would reveal that her public absence had actually begun with a tragic accident in 2014 when she was struck by a car on the University of Alabama campus, leaving her with permanent brain damage and an Alzheimer's diagnosis that abruptly ended her groundbreaking career. Tragically, her husband of 46 years had witnessed the crash at the moment of impact, suffered a serious heart attack, and died the following year. This left Lee's son George to care for his mother in complete isolation for 6 years. And for a few years, this was the accepted narrative until her own colleagues questioned the official account, because Jim Landreth would point out that neither police...
Please like and sub, y'all. Please like and sub.
The accident.
So today, I called them. I got through to their records keeper, and he said, no, there is no record of it. And it was not responded to by them or their departments.
Emphasizing that the 25-mile-an-hour campus limits made such a crash pretty unlikely. Furthermore, discussions in scientific circles would suggest that Lee may have been battling cancer, and her colleagues corroborated that her breakthroughs were far more advanced than NASA's projects.
She did make claims that she was getting what she called an AC gravity effect, right? That no one else, yeah, no one else had gotten those kind of results. She had apparently gone further than NASA had gone with her research.
That's what she claimed, yeah.
While noting that if Lee had attempted to patent her discoveries, the government likely would have blocked her.
If she had discovered something, maybe she was going for a patent or some kind of intellectual property rights.
The DoD captures technology that it likes, and makes sure that it doesn't escape into the wild. Even if you don't quell it, you make sure that it stays in-house.
To this day, the details of her research remain classified, and even basic funding information would be withheld by the government. Ultimately, though, while Dr. Lee's gravity-defying research was being buried in Huntsville, the man at the very top of Lockheed Martin was also not safe once he decided to tell the truth. On May 28, 2018, Dr. James T. Ryder reportedly died, yet the only public record of his passing was a sparse Ancestry.com listing noting his name, birthplace in Chicago, parents, and death in California. Despite this, Ryder had spent over 40 years at the heart of America's defense industry, eventually rising to be a vice president of Lockheed Martin, the world's most secretive defense contractor.
There is a place where we imagine the impossible, where the powers of machine and nature become one.
During his tenure, Ryder oversaw the nation's most classified projects, including Skunk Works, Lockheed's division responsible for top-secret aircrafts.
Are any of you willing to name specific gatekeepers within the root cell of the UAP-SAP Federation?
Well, one of them was named Dr. James Ryder at Lockheed.
Moreover, his work laid the technological foundation for NASA's Artemis spacecraft for the 2026 moon mission. Over decades, he earned the trust to access some of the country's deepest secrets, yet few outside of his inner circle knew the full scope of his work. Then, in 2008, Ryder stepped into extremely dangerous territory. At the same time, a small group of senators and intelligence officials had quietly been investigating UFOs. In his capacity as vice president of Lockheed Martin, Ryder made a startling proposal. When he identified a facility where Lockheed held material from 1950 UFO crashes, offering to turn it over. Importantly, the facility was linked to the roots of UFO secrecy, which many people trace back to Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, where US Army forces recovered strange debris, first calling it flying disc, before quickly retracting the statement and claiming that it was from a secret balloon project.
Well, the whole thing started in July 2nd, 1947. That was the first crash.
First crash of an alien spaceship.
An alien spaceship. July 6th is when they recovered it and sent it to Air Force Base. July 7th is when they held a press conference. and told the people it was a weather balloon, which the press bought the claim sinker.
Over the years, some whistleblowers have suggested the material wasn't just balloon wreckage, but evidence of non-human technology that the government had then attempted to reverse engineer.
I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
Consequently, Roswell became a turning point, leading to a classification system that was so secret, entire programs were produced in public oversight.
We can say that the recent sightings are in no way connected with any secret development by any department of the United States.
And according to whistleblowers, even from presidents themselves,
I just don't see any reason why our government, I don't like going into a meeting and an elected bureaucrat tells us that that the president is on a need-to-know basis. To me, that should be in America, that there's a lot more going on just behind the scenes and we're aware.
So it was this material that was originally controlled by the CIA Science Division, with Ryder's request to access it being personally blocked by the division's director. According to reports, it was one of the few times in decades that Ryder actually feared for his life. 3 years later, he had officially retired from Lockheed Martin. Yet after retiring in 2011, Ryder made a choice that may have cost him dearly. Rather than stepping aside quietly, he began funding private research, and by 2017 he was speaking publicly about evidence of aliens that spanned tens of thousands of years.
The top there are lots of beings. I don't know what to call them. I can't call them humans. There's lots of beings, things, look like alive. They have eyes and noses. They sure look like some of the space people you see in UFOs sometimes. Let's see more of those. And below that, there are all these drawings. And if you're a UFO enthusiast of that type, there's your first UFO, 42,000 years ago.
In one revealing account, he even described a UFO encounter.
Oh, that's right, working in a forest. In a forest, yeah, where the investigators were sent to really go study it, because it was still there. And to their surprise, they did see a bright object that appeared like a UFO. And they tried to touch it and reported it was metal.
So these were scientists.
These are highly trained technical people. What I did in that case is ask the question to the investigator. Go back and ask them a different question. Don't ask them if they touched and felt metal. Ask them, did they feel like there was a pressure on their hand, and did the pressure get greater? What they felt was that the closer they got their hand to the light, the more resistance, until they reached the point that the light was glowing around their hand and they could not make their hand go any further.
Claiming that they used telepathic communication to transfer thoughts between minds and suggesting that that was a real thing.
Is there telepathy? Absolutely, I know there's telepathy. It works just fine. My friends who did some of the other things, and now their work's been published, and they did the first work some 40 years ago. Dr. Paul's one, Dr. Targ, who's worked for me for years, is another one. It's fun being able to see these things.
After decades in secrecy, Ryder told an audience how liberating it felt to finally speak freely. But tragically, just 1 month after that talk, Ryder was dead. His Ancestry.com obituary listed no cause of death, and there were no public tributes after 40 years of working in Lockheed Martin. He received no recognition in